Hi, Colin here. You want to know about finding broken wires in systems? Well, firstly, to solve that problem, get good wire in the first place. We've got a high density polyethylene coating on the wire, 7-strand copper core, so it's a very strong wire. If you hit it with a shovel, and I'll do that for you in a tick, it won't break. But if you come across a situation, we get calls from people that have got bad quality wire and they want to know how to find the break. I'm just going to show you how that happens. Firstly, to understand that, you'll have a transmitter probably in the shed, and you'll probably have wires buried from the shed out to the fence, so there could be a break underground. But if you understand the theory about how these work, then you'll be able to narrow down where the break is. The wire that comes out of the transmitter starts at the transmitter, goes around the property, and it finishes. If this was a CB radio and the wire was the aerial, the radio signal would go up the aerial and transmit forever. But what happens is the radio signal goes from the transmitter down to the fence, around the property, not a very good drawing, and comes back. When it comes back to the transmitter, it blocks the radio signal. There's nowhere for it to go. Then you use the volume control to expand the radio signal out of the wire, so you've got that pressure. If you break the wire, there's no pressure, so that is a break alarm that's going off. The problem can be to find where that break is, but if we narrow it down, I hate that noise, I can hear that 3 houses away sometimes. If we break that down into stages, then you'll be able to find where the break is. So, stage one, I would firstly do a physical check of the wire that's hanging on the fence, all the visual stuff. And just remember, you might have someone that's come in with a whippersnipper or done some gardening, and then you hear the beep. Go to where they were working. Just run along the wire at the fence, give it a tug, and if it's moving and it's tight, you'll be fine. Leave a bit of slack in the system as you go around the place as well, but give it a bit of a tug and it'll come away and you'll be able to find out where the break is. Then do the join. The next phase, if you still can't find it, is think about, well, I can't see the wire underground, so let's try and check that. So if you have the two wires coming from this transmitter out to the fence, and then one goes left, and one goes right, then they travel around the property. If we cut them at the fence and then join them together to send the radio signal straight back to the transmitter, if it stops beeping, there's no break underground. So what we're doing here, I'll show you. We've got the wire coming from the fence. Oh, by the way, that's the snake skin we just found when we were just installing. Big guy as well, so be careful when you're hunting around for broken wires that you don't come across one of these guys. Now, one goes left and one goes right. If we cut it here and we cut it here and we get these wires that are coming from the fence, from the shed out here, and we join them, the radio signal is going to come down and turn around straight away. Now, if it stops beeping, you know there's nothing wrong with the area under here, and that's all good. So it's somewhere else around the property. So you'll rejoin this one up again here, and you'll rejoin it to the other one as well, so that you recreate the system. Now it's going to start beeping again for you, but at least you know there's no problem here. The next phase is to find out where it goes underground. I'll take you out to the, so if you imagine we're out at the gateway now, and you've got a gate post here and a gate post here, and this is the driveway, and your wire comes along the fence, then it goes underground across the fence, and then it comes up and keeps going. There could be a problem underground. That would be the next place I'd look. So I would cut the wire here, cut the wire there to bypass the underground, join on a new bridging loop, so I get your spare roll of wire, join on a bridging loop, and then run it across there so that you bypass everything underground. Now, if it keeps beeping, you know there's no break underground, so leave that alone and then go to your next phase, next gateway, and do that. If it stops beeping, you know there's a break somewhere underground. So when this is connected up underground, it's beeping. When you bypass it and bridge across, that's called bridging, then it stops beeping. You know that you've found the break. I would just then run fresh wire straight across. Don't try and find the break, just run fresh wire straight across and you're back in business. So if you've bypassed and bridged everything around the property and it's still beeping, you could have a problem with your transmitter. What it could come down to then is you've got a system maybe that doesn't have any lightning and surge protection on it, and energy spike has gotten to the transmitter and fused the circuit board or something like that. So that can happen in your reverse as well. If you do get lightning strike and it fuses the computer chip in here, it can say there's a no break in the wire, when in fact there's no radio signal going around the property at all, but that's another story. So one thing we've had to do on occasions is, got the transmitter here, we know everything's working because we've done our short loop test. We've had to bisect the property. So run a wire from here across to there and join up and liven up this section. If that section's not beeping, you know there's no problem, so then you swap over, go to this section using the 2 wires, and then if that's still beeping, you might then take that wire and move it over to here to test this section, and you gradually narrow down where the break might be in the system. Of course, another way is to just, if you've got a lot of joins, get a good quality wire and run it, take out all the joins, put a whole fresh run of wire along the thing. So look, it doesn't have to be hard. You'll probably find by the time you get to stage 2 with that, you've found all the breaks in the system. But remember that the way to avoid getting broken wire is to get a good system with good quality wire in the first place. Look, if you've got any questions, jump on the phone, 1300 the dog, 1300 843 364. Have a chat to us, but try and narrow down where the breaks are. If you find your transmitter starts beeping mysteriously, more than likely there's a break somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it. Okay, till next time. Cheers.